Okay, y'all, welcome back to WigginsTV. I got an exclusive interview, man. I got one of the OGs, one of the originals, man. Y'all done seen the Sex Jerk little documentary I done on the hood legends of LA. But I'm talking about the big homie Fish that reached out to me, told me, some things need to be corrected, so all questions should be answered after today, man. I got the one and only OG Fish from Sex Jerks. How you doing, sir?
I'm chilling, man. Yeah, man. I'm glad we was able to connect up.
Yeah. He. Now, when he first called me, he banged on me a little bit, but it's all love. You know what I'm saying? He like, where you from? But dog.
My God. Yes, sir. But you know what? All hell, all heads, definitely, prevail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cooler heads prevail. Yeah.
For sure. So it was definitely good conversation. From the first out. You know what I'm saying? They, fell off, but it fell out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, it's good to stick with you.
Right. So let's take it from the top, Fish, man. So how old were you when you started, basically being familiar with the hood and seeing older homies, and how old were you?
You know what? I would definitely say I was in the age group of around 10, 11 years old, noticing them. You know what I mean? Just kind of noticing the older heads that were, very, very few. You know what I'm saying? People would think that it was a whole lot of them, but it was just a cool little down-ass crew that, kind of like stuck together. But they kind of, sparked notice because they stayed out there. No matter what, you always heard about something. You heard something. It was always something just growing up. And that's what almost intrigued me the most because, I was familiar with, a lot of different other neighborhoods and all that type of stuff. And for me to come to just this neighborhood, people, it was well fetched because, I kind of grew up in, Normandy and Manchester area, and then I kind of lived on the west side of Los Angeles, so to speak, like Inglewood type of area. So,
okay.
I was with a lot of different neighborhoods, but for me to just, get kind of trapped in to this one, it was something I kind of felt. You know what I mean? I kind of knew who I wanted to be, and I knew where I wanted to be from. You know what I mean? I had other people to try to not really discourage me, but of course they tried to recruit me to, other neighborhoods and stuff like that. But I was just stuck on this, especially once I got put on. You know what I mean? But I would say I watched the system of them, collaborate and kind of, go through, the late 80s. And just to tell you a quick story, basically, I was skating through a little spot where they used to always hang out, and they kind of they took my skateboard from me, and it was some sex jokes, you know what I mean? So I go to my boy house where I was on my way to, and more or less, he had a neighbor that was from sex jerks. So he goes to the neighbor. I meet the neighbor, I'm telling the story, yada, yada, yada. We go over there, he get my skateboard back. Now, you would think that would just kind of discourage you or whatever like that, but it kind of got me to a position where it brought me closer to him. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like I felt like, oh yeah, I know him now. You know what I mean? So, I buzz, see him on the corner, just hanging out, and just, years would go by, you know what I mean, probably 88, 89, when I would get more serious with them, and I really wanted to, really, really kind of do that thing, you know what I mean, and
right.
That's when I really kind of broke into it, and, at that time, I guess I would say I played my part. You know what I mean? Definitely played my part of what they was expecting of me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you got your big homies, and you listening to the stories of the past years, and you know, you get familiar with the neighborhoods that you're not gonna be too friendly to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, you getting coached and you getting schooled, and you know, you actually seeing lines of battle here and there. You know what I'm saying? They kind of see it a whole lot more, but you know, you hearing about it.
Who were the main allies and enemies of the sex jerks from the beginning to the end?
I would say, you know, from the beginning, it was, you know, another side called KOD. It was another side called the Mobsters. Another side with the South Central Winos.
And these are enemies?
Yeah. They were definitely enemies at that time. You know, the list kind of like goes on. It doesn't really stop with them, but they were a major part of whatever was going on. You would probably hear, oh yeah, them, you know, those two sides that got into it again, or you know, it would always be something. You know, you know, we tried to chase and hunt down one another, I guess, as much as we possibly could. Like, you know, as funny as a lot of situations used to go down in the non-internet era, you know what I mean, to where how, you know, it was like, I don't know, it was always the right time, the wrong, you at the right place, wrong time, type situation, to where you always gonna get yourself into type of discrepancy or you know, fight. You know what I mean? It was different areas where you could definitely go. You know, you learn real quick not to just go anywhere. You know what I mean? And
right.
Not just to say that, because you had other neighborhoods, larger neighborhoods, that kind of allied and kind of looked out for these, you know, these the other side, let's say, you know, and so they wouldn't kind of like to see, you know what I mean? It was you know, it was a tough battle, you know what I mean? And then just think about it, man. You come up and you start banging sex jerks. I mean, what's the first thought that, you know, a person gonna come? They, you know, immediately come with disrespect. There was never no respect, you know,
right.
when, you know, in the beginning. And I would say in the beginning, you know what I mean? We had to travel the route to really let people know that, you know, we on the map, you know what I'm saying? But that, you know what I mean, that just comes because, you know what I mean, we just got kind of widespread, you know, with the little areas that we was kind of you know, like people were setting themselves up in, you know, we was kind of just you know, we were getting bigger, you know what I mean? But in time, you know, we definitely jumped into trying to do other stuff, just, you know, besides, you know, just run the streets and look for enemies.
In my video, I said that there was let's say there was a party, you know, supposedly where the 8 trays and the SJs clash. Is that accurate? Did that really?
I would say, you know, I haven't actually been a part of something like that, but I'm sure, and I can recall maybe hearing something to where, you know, us two definitely clashed together. You know what I mean? It's definitely been some of that. Like, you know,
give me an incident, you know, just give me an incident where, I know it's all good now, it's all love now, but is there any incident where they clashed, where we had a disagreement or something?
As a group, I've heard that it's happened. Now, on a personal level, it was it was one occasion where I was probably, I was there. It was actually kind of funny.
Okay.
Two of the homies or whatever, one of the little homies or whatever, kind of got to it with one of the, one of the other sides or whatever, and they kind of like they stood in the street on almost like a standoff, but they were like 100 some odd feet away, but they yelling at each other, and they just happened to start shooting at each other. And I don't even know if the bullets was coming close to each other or what. I was just hearing pat, 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 and I was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, damn, why y'all? I'm like, come on, man. And I'm, I'm just out of the way, but I just start hearing the gunfire, and I'm like, man, cut that shit out, man. And then, strange enough, one of the other homeboys come through, and he kind of like smoothed everything over, cause he was kinfolk to the dude. Like I said, we had people that was kinfolk and all kind of stuff. So it would be easy to kind of come through and be like, hey, what's up, fam? Let's stop that, and it would be over with. You know what I'm saying? Now that's the only scenario that I recall, just on a personal level or whatever. But if as a group on an everyday thing, and you in the streets of LA, so you should just be watching out no matter what and where you are, period. You know what I'm saying? So nevertheless, if you and another side kind of got like a big disagreement, they wasn't coming through trying to just like shut us down. You know what I mean? We were still kind of like, hey man, they really ain't really on our level. Like, we got bigger fish to fry, we got other things to deal with. That's like, if we bump into each other, we probably gonna, have, different words to say to each other.
There was another incident that I spoke on, from, I got it from a little bullshit police report. They gonna always lie and tell they side of the story, make us younger black folks look bad. So as far as the little Venice Beach little incident with the boy that lost his life, condolences to his family and all that. Can you clarify that so bring some light to it? So we
yeah. I mean, first of all, but definitely my heart goes out to that whole situation or whatever, not really even knowing no situation. Just because something just went wrong, and to what involvement it was, it sounds weird, but I really don't know. I happen to be in jail,
okay.
just on another level, you know what I'm saying? But from words that I would hear, I read some stuff in the paper at one time. It was kind of like you're talking about two gangs. I mean, I know the situation you spoke on, like people on the date and all that type of stuff. I mean, it could be, maybe that's what he want to call it, or maybe that's what they want to call it or whatever. But if he was out there with, the other side that they say that he was where he was from, then most likely, it was a gang fight somewhere down the line. That's all I can say.
Right.
We all, everybody used to go on melee, man. Like our group, I would say our group gang encounters, man, they was melee. Like they were so bad. Whatever function was going on, it's over with. Like, the whole thing would be shut down. You know what I mean? And it would, of course we would, I think we used to always get a bad name and the bad call, like, oh yeah, the sector, they fucked up the whole party, and You know, I wouldn't say it was necessarily like that. You know what I mean? We all fought. You know what I mean? We all was doing something. You know, like, what were we supposed to do? Did nobody come up and start to shake hands? You know what I mean? Nigga, they stepped up and started throwing hands. Like, we invaded their space. So, you know, if that's how it goes, that's how it goes. But that's just how I look at it. To where when we used to get into it, that's how it would be. You know, it wasn't necessarily planned, but everybody knew. All the kids, they going over there. You know, everybody going over here after the football game, and you know what I mean. That's how all those spots for everybody that was doing the football season and all that type of stuff. That's how it was going on. I'm sure it's kind of similar to that, today. But that was that situation. I would say, to get back to, man, so unfortunate. I will say this much. I do recall. I don't really think he went to jail for murder, but it was somebody. I think that's why we really got a bad call, because they signed the police signature him as being a sanctuary. So they just put everything together to say, oh yeah, well he had, they had to be part of it or do it. But to be honest with you, and anybody that would hear this would know, it just wasn't, not that day and not any other day. It was never just us out on Venice Beach. You know what I mean? That was the spot. That's where everybody went. Certain hoods would get into it, but other hoods, it was just what it was. You know what I mean? The monster side was closer to the blood side at that time than the Crips. So you never know. Was it the Crips? And I hate to even sit up and speculate or do anything, because it just, what never happened just never happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody, I guess, got, held really responsible for it or whatever. You know what I mean? But, like I said, man, I can't say it too many more times. It's bad and fortunate because, just at this time of thinking, man, it's another situation where, kids just not thinking and listening. You know what I mean? But, the police and everybody always try to make a situation look good, and, which that's their job too, whatever. But if he was out there and he was, allegedly, a gang member, he just wasn't out there with no female. You know what I mean? He may have been, he may have been out there hollering at the female or doing something, but it was, it was a gazillion neighborhoods that would be out at Venice Beach. Venice Beach would definitely keep LAPD super fucking busy. And through all of those times, most of those times, man, I was always incarcerated. Because I just kept fucking up. So my incarceration just kept me bounded to where, those type of events, man, I wasn't even seeing them no more. My shit was just basically all of high school. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Anything in my 20s, it was either neighborhood problems or, just a head up problem that I had with, another individual or something. It kind of everything kind of died down.
Do you mind telling that story about the hammer when, when?
Oh, yeah, I can do that. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so, we part of, just this, man, we used to, let's say we used to visit each other's high schools. And, when we would visit the high schools, we weren't there to rah-rah, shit kumbah. We're not there for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it would be so weird how the school would almost help the other side. If they came to our school, then kind of like, you know, our school kind of like rallied up to help us out. You know, but this particular incident, I think this was a summer school incident. Summer school incident happened to be at the school, and these motherfuckers came up there, and I hope one of them listening, because that's one thing I want to talk to them about. These cats came up there, and you know what I mean, I give it to them, man. Some of these motherfuckers, man, some of our enemies, man, they wouldn't play just like we wouldn't play. We ain't running. So the ones that ain't running, we facing the fight. You know what I mean? So we all out front of the school. We get to all fighting. It's probably a group of them, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 at the most. We start to all fall out because everybody is you know, screaming, you know, oh, they out there scrapping, you know, they out, you know, so we out there, I'm out there. He's actually dead now, you know, rest in peace to him.
Rest in peace.
But he's out there, you know, he's actually the one who got hit. So we out there, we going at it, we fighting and everything, and all of a sudden, the homie just dives on this dude. You know, he just dives on him, and the dude just starts, like, I mean, he just starts hammering him. I mean, we all dive on him after all of this happens, but I seen like a couple of good whacks. Like, man, he was trying to build a house, like, you know what I'm saying, with that hammer. And I'm like, man, you know, I grab his hand, I'm grabbing the hammer. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, you know, trying to, you know, make this motherfucker let go of that. Man, this motherfucker had a grip on that hammer to save his life. He was not letting go of that hammer, and we was fighting for it. And you know, but he wasn't hitting the homie no more. So I guess one of the other homies kind of like pulled him off of him, but he leaking, bleeding, all kind of shit, you know, coming. And at this time, the police was all on site. The police was trying to round up everybody, spray people with mace, and I mean, you know, try to break everything up or whatever. And I believe that the dude got caught. You know what I'm saying? You know, I believe he got caught up for that shit. You know, amongst other shit. You know, I know he got kind of caught up with too. You know what I mean? Because I mean, like when shit was going down, man, shit was just going down. We was you know, we was all out there. You know, we was all out there gangbanging, man. Sad to say, we all knew each other's names and everything. So it wasn't like we knew much about one another, but we knew enough to know who your name was and to, you know, play games with you and fuck with you or whatever. You know, that's just how that shit kind of like panned out to be. You know, because, you know, there was a lot of death moments. You know, a lot of homies, you know, a lot of situations where, you know, definitely death was upon us. You know,
Damn.
I watched a few, you know, I watched a few, you know, homeboys get gunned down and, you know, I don't know. I want to say that I was blessed. Definitely, I would have to say I was blessed.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because I was real close to the whole situation. You know what I mean? I mean, even my own situation. You know what I mean? I've been through just health-wise. You know what I'm saying? I done been through my own little, you know, gunshots and gun battles and all that type of shit. So I done had to, you know, recover from, you know, a lot of different, you know, type of battles or whatever. You know, but you know, it's just how shit goes down. But yeah, that situation, man, that was a crazy day. You know, crazy day, definitely.
For the people out there that don't know and they think, you know, the sex jerks is just local, is there any sex jerks in any other places other than 87th and Normandy? Did it spread out anywhere? like other places?
Yeah. I would we definitely we migrated, definitely. There was a side, basically we got we got an originality on a side to where you would call the West Flats. And then we got a originality on the side that you would call the South Flats. So they kind of like merged together because they kind of live on two separate ends. And it just grew from that. We had little spots where we would kick it, which we would call the West Flats. We would know where to go. Just like if we was like, oh yeah, we're going to the South, you would know, where to meet everybody at. You know what I mean?
Right. Y'all in other states too, right?
Yeah, exactly. But just to finish off, on the California side, we had another side called the Desert Flats. You know what I mean? And Desert Flats was out like in the Riverside County area, which I wasn't the originator or the creator of that side, but I was when I fell in, the time I fell into when all of that was going on, I think it was a good time because I was able to bring a lot more to it than what has already been brought to it. But yeah, we had a side, they still out there. They in Moreno Valley, you know what I mean? Big shout out to them, you know what I mean?
Wow.
There's definitely some true ass homeboys that's on that side, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And then the other state, okay, here we go. We messed around years ago and find out that we kind of like out in the Arizona area.
Wow.
And everything is the same. Everything like, you can look it up. It's something something that to this day a lot of people have been not really disturbed on it, but just like very curious on it because they like, man, how did this happen? So I kind of do a little research, whatever. I'm trying to find out what I find out. You know what I'm saying? And definitely big shout out to the homie Dopey because he made a lot of those invites possible, and he's kind of like the concierge of handling that type of shit right now. You know what I'm saying? But basically we reached out, we talked to these cats, you know what I mean, and the difference is they happen to be essays, they happen to be messy, which
wow.
you still represent. Don't know how this is happening. So we put them out on the search to try to figure out what the bottom line is and how did this occur? So I mean, like the story comes back that it was two dudes. They was cousins to somebody. They was like mixed black Mexican, and they came and they spent like a summer, maybe two. It was something. They came and spent a little time, and they soaked all of this in, and they took that shit to Arizona, and they started a whole gang out there.
Wow.
And, I guess they never checked back in, but when we reach out or whatever, some people on that side out there, they've been intrigued to try to find out the same thing because they heard the same thing, so they just don't know. We all just got one thing in common. You know what I mean? We love to say your name, so I mean, hey, by all means, shit, keep it going. You know what I mean? They actually doing it out there. I think they've been in existence probably maybe like 15, 20 years.
Wow.
But they've been kind of like doing their thing out there. You know what I mean? Of what I could gather and find out about what they've been doing definitely got a generation of heads out there, which I was impressed when I was first introduced to that whole scene out there. I was like, oh yeah,
Okay.
Y'all not playing, so yeah, they out there,
All right. If I was to hit the county jail because I'm from Compton Crip, I'll have to push the hub and the dub. Like the 60s got to get housed with neighborhood. Who would the sex jerks, seeing as it is a small turf, which car would they be under?
Good question. I would say most of us really stand alone, and we don't really, we really haven't had that problem. Although, if you want to say where are we going, we're going to the neighborhood shop. It's like we know more over there. We may link up. We might link up with a certain neighborhood because we lived all in there. We know everybody over there. And it happens to be it's a neighborhood. Like it's a neighborhood. Gang or whatever. Now that's one thing. We was always getting mistaken. Like I said, some cats would think that we were like on a A-Tray side, and then some cats would think that we were on a 60 side. And although we were in two different sides and we were in both of their neighborhoods, we had our own little, space or our little spot or whatever you would want to call it, and we just didn't really function. We knew them, but it wasn't like we was conjoined. Like, nobody ever conjoined, man. We it was always, it was always a sex junk thing. That's how we always tried to keep it. We tried to keep it friendly. There's no need to start a beef when there needs to be no beef. And I mean, I knew some A-Trays just like I knew, some 60s. I knew a lot of 60s. You know what I mean? Because I was more, on the 60 side of town, and you would see the activities that's going on with them. You know what I mean? You see how they handling, things or whatever. And we were at our age coming through. We were coming out of like a writing on wall type of era. So most of the gangs was chasing the motherfuckers that was writing on walls. That was your first. That would have been your first candidate. And your whole crew. And try to just get everybody over here. And hey, just we put you on and you start claiming this shit. You know what I mean? So that's how it was with a lot of transition in the time frame where I was coming up. But it was like, just the same. People was picking sides, So, even though I was on both sides of town, because, like I said, I grew up on the A-Tray side, but I also grew up on the, like, in Inglewood, on the west side of, kind of like LA or whatever, where, everybody was. So, it was a difference, but the trip thing was the transition of people just not knowing the truth. They just was always assuming. But, we never sided up with nobody. We always wanted to stay cool with both sides because we didn't have no problems. It wasn't like we was conjoining to where it was like a system of problems that we just kept going. You know what I mean? They was doing their thing, we was doing our thing. You know what I mean? So, okay. And then technically, their beef really wasn't our beef. They would sit back and we would give them a show. You know what I mean? And, when we would start gang banging against the people that we was kind of like enemying up with, they would kind of be like, damn, what y'all about? So that's how a lot of that shit was. But we kind of did the same. you know, because they would get down, you know what I mean? I done seen, you know, some serious fights between the other side on red and blue level, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's like, wow, you know what I mean? Hey, this shit is real, you know what I mean? It really is, you know?
Okay.
It always has to be, you know? But it was like to us, we had so many problems just with the neighborhoods that just really didn't like us. Like, really. Like, we didn't really have too many allies that really came through and kind of like was, hey, we're going to roll with y'all, man, and help y'all out tonight. You know, I mean, we always would link up with like a gang called Posers. You know what I mean? They still out there, and you know they would, they was about their business too. You know what I mean? But we would always link up because it was like we shared the same enemies. You know, I don't know why that was so. I never knew that, but nevertheless, you know, we would always, if we partied, kicked it with like another hood, that was kind of like who we kicked it with. We kicked it with those guys, you know. So we would just be, on a level of, just trying to do our own thing. But like I said, there was a lot of different, conflictions with, the area and what we're trying to do, and some people just really didn't understand, and then of course, when we really, when you do this, it's like a phase. It's like, certain things that you're gonna have to start doing because you gotta get recognized. You gotta get recognized on both sides. Kind of like, I would say land and water, and you on the streets, but now no jails know about you, little niggas going to jail or whatever. They making a name throughout the, the juvenile hall system, camp, YA. But now, we kind of graduating to the county system, more and more and more and more. So, now it's like, when you go in there, it's the same situation, but now you're dealing with, the whole LA County. So you're actually being introduced to other neighborhoods that probably you ain't never even heard about.
Okay.
The good thing about what we had to go through, the people that did go before us, they really was solid. So when it was our turn to kind of like go through all of that, yeah, we got, sometimes we had a little moment, but for the most part, it would always be somebody that would want to take a seat. Like, yeah, man, I know your homeboy such and such, man, y'all some cool people. Come fuck with us, and like we was more, it was like we was more loved throughout neighborhoods because, we kind of like, we was really some real solid niggas. And if you had the opportunity to run across one of us, you would bear witness to it, to where you would be like, all right, to where now anybody that come after you, we gonna look out for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we was going through a lot of that. We had good times and bad times, but I can't think that nobody was really really had a difficult moment.
Well, I appreciate you, OG Fish, man. You can hit me anytime, man. Much love for reaching out, man. Anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
Oh yeah, man. Let's get ready for like part. I guess you set up part 1 to initiate this part 2, and let's see if we can get a part 3 out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about. People from that time and era, man, speak on it. You know what I mean? Whether you got something good to say or even bad to say. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you feeling some kind of way, then you feeling some kind of way. Share those feelings. holler at each other, and I ain't doing no negativity though. You ain't gonna get nothing negative out of me. So if you want to, holler like like a grown man or something like that, and give up your hood and all that kind of shit, let us know. You know what I'm saying? Let us know basically where you are. You know what I mean? If I got something incorrect or anything like that, talk to me about it. You know what I mean? It's no big deal. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's time to be grown folk, man. You know what I'm saying? We got the youngster doing this interview. Much shout out, to him, getting everything together and all that, to even just share it. Because he was kind of like giving this information without knowing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Yeah, good looking on that, man. And let's see if we can get somebody else together and let's holler, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, like I said, I've done it before. Let this one go. Andre the Great. Holla at me, player. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. For sure. I'm going to put it on the screen, too, so you can see it.
Yeah, definitely, man. But, you know what I mean? Let me give a shout out to the originators, you know what I'm saying, that put this together. And, we've been able to kind of like hold on to this, and now I would say it's more of a brotherhood or whatever, because we ain't out here trying to shed no blood. We're trying to spend some money. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? My big homie Bosco, you know what I'm saying? All the homeboys that, come after him, because he was one of the, originators to this whole scene. You know what I'm saying? So I got to give mad shout out to him. And hopefully I can get him to, join in and speak the real on the question you asked once before, because he has a lot of information that I don't have. You know what I'm saying? And, all the big homeboys that came before me, you know what I'm saying? All the people that came with me, after me, you know what I'm saying? We got a Jerk Nation out there. We actually, we got Jerk Language. We got Jerk Clothing.
Oh, shit.
It's you know what I mean? It's been out there. If people look at it, they can check on it and check on a few things or whatever. But we got a lot of famous people, man. You know what I mean? We don't have no dull people in the neighborhood, man. We got some people that actually turned out to be somebody and do something. You know what I'm saying? And big shout out to them. And they don't really need no name because they know who they are. You know what I'm saying? And look out for the Baby Lazy interviews coming forth with the supervision lifestyle that he done had to live, blind, banging, the name Set Jerk, you know what I'm saying? So, big shout out to Lazy. I saw him on, he left a message on your shit too, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, big shout out to a lot of people, man.
Shouts out to Lurch, too. Shout out to Lurch.
Yeah, Lurch, Lurch, let me tell you, Lurch, I'm happy player. You know what I'm saying? You my little guy, man, from the knee high, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he definitely reached out and all that good shit, man. So Lurch, man, I love you, little homie. You know what I mean? All the little homies and shit, you know what I mean? They all been good and blessed, man. They they out here doing their thing, and I don't really think we don't have a mass of little homies that is incarcerated. So that's kind of like a good thing, man. They can always group up and, start putting their minds together and get some, business things going on out here. You know what I mean? Because, we got some smart little homies, you know what I mean? Tiptoe, Lurch, you know what I'm saying? They always been able to do it. But anytime they had to go and do something that they didn't want to go do, they held strong on it, and I give them that. You know what I'm saying? They well known from the bars to the streets. You know what I'm saying? So, much love on loving the neighborhood that you represent.
Okay, for sure. Why? Yeah, you motherfuckers got it here first. WigginsTV. Shout out to OG Fish. We out, man.
Right, that's right.